Hey everyone, Scott Cunningham, aka Scottsy Business. Today we're going to be talking about my journey to financial freedom. And to quickly define financial freedom, most people would define it as having enough money coming in passively to be able to quit your job and still, be able to fund your lifestyle as it is today. What I look at it a little bit more openly as, can I quit my job and be able to continue funding my lifestyle? That's kind of the way that I look at financial freedom. And I'm on set to be able to achieve that this year. I don't know if I actually would quit my job because I don't dislike it like most people. I work from home. It's not very challenging. It's not like your average 9-to-5 day job, which I absolutely wouldn't be able to stand. But I consider financial freedom where you have the means to, if you wanted to, you could quit your day job and you'd be fine. I'm almost at the point to be able to afford that with just making these videos now. A large proponent of that has been Library, because they're just amazing with the way they've allowed creators to monetize their content. And I think it's really important to track all of this and share it with other people to inspire them. And that's why every month I put out a social media metrics and earnings report so you can see how I'm progressing and how you could possibly do the same thing. Naturally, I've been growing my crypto income month over month since October. So, I'm really, really happy to report that I might be making over $1,000 this month. And, it just blows my mind how much you can actually do with crypto. And I feel that if I continue at this rate by the end of the year, I'll be able to afford my entire lifestyle just with crypto. Given that this was fiat-free May, I've been able to basically fund the majority of my lifestyle with just crypto, minus my rent, student debt loans, and my utility bills, just because they're kind of a hassle to pay with crypto. But everything else I've been paying with crypto, and it's been really, really eye-opening as to how much I can cut back and what I can afford with crypto, and how you can really empower your life. I find it's very, very rewarding buying things with crypto, knowing that every time I'm able to buy something with crypto, it's making me less and less reliant on the fiat currency system. And I feel like that is a very, very freeing concept. So beyond just being financially free and independent of the banking system, that's infinitely more free, because then you're not also reliant on them if something happens. It's completely on you and in your control. And I think that is very, very empowering for most people. And that's why I've been doing all this stuff and sharing this, because for me, it's been my goal for the past 3 years. Really, financial freedom has been my goal for the past 7 years, ever since I started getting into social media marketing and consciously finding ways and making the decision consciously to work from home and build the lifestyle that I want to live. Because I think it's extremely important to build your lifestyle, build a foundation, and then budget around that, versus the average person who inflates their lifestyle as they earn more money. So the average person gets a promotion, a raise, whatever. They buy a nicer car, whatever it happens to be, they inflate their lifestyle. What I've been very focused on, hyper focused on for the past year and a half, is building a lifestyle foundation and just trying to find a way to afford that. So my expenses have not changed in an extremely long time, unless they're being cut and going down. My expenses are almost never increasing, because I'm only finding creative ways to spend less, and I'm never inflating my lifestyle. Absolutely not. And then crypto is going to fund the majority of these things. And then I also used crypto for discretionary spending. A really great part about that is I stop and think twice. Do I really want to spend crypto? It could go way up, as well as that. It's slightly more of a hassle to fund it and everything. But I feel like I actually prefer that because of how conscious it makes me of the purchase decisions that I'm making. I got a pizza for Bitcoin Pizza Day. And the day before that, actually, I'd ordered Subway. But outside of those 2 orders, I didn't order any fast food during this entire lockdown, right? So I treat that like it's a treat. And that's the way I've been trying to treat everything. And now I look at everything in terms of what could this instead buy me for an investment, right? Do I want to buy a new gen console, or do I want to buy stocks that will pay me $30 to $40 every year for the rest of my life? I feel like these decisions are very, very easy for me now, ever since I've changed that focus. And I'd like to share something that I posted on Twitter. This was just kind of the really broken down, summarized steps that I've been taking to get to this point, right? Budgeting and tracking everything, immensely important. You can't improve anything that you do not measure. I can't remember who said that, but it's a famous quote. It's absolutely true. You don't know what you're doing wrong until you track it all. Then you can start cutting back on expenses. Then, more important than that, sacrificing luxuries, right? So for me, not having a car my entire life, I'm 25 and a half, I guess, almost, and not having a car my whole life has afforded me the ability to invest way more in myself, my business, freelancing, and then, into this and into crypto and stocks and everything else. So that has been hugely impactful for my life. And I know a lot of people would say, oh, but I can't because da, da, da. It's like, I had the same excuses 7 years ago. And then I decided I would consciously, from that moment forward, start building out the life that reflected what I wanted to do. And when I compare the benefits financially and, how much value I will get out of it versus how much value it'll cost me, a lot of things started to really become more clear to me. Like, I didn't need a car if I could Uber or order groceries once a week or carpool. Finding creative solutions and shortcuts to saving money has been also hugely, hugely impactful to making this work, right? So what happens with lifestyle inflation is when you add something to your budget, to your life, it's great for a bit and then it feels normalized after a while. So for me, one of my little luxuries was enjoying, here I'm going to get off of the screen. It was enjoying having like a smoothie every morning. And since I really started to, try to cut back on everything, I only really have those on the weekend now. And, I cut back on how much coffee I drink, and then I drink tea as a substitute because it's extremely cheaper. I water down juice and things like that to get more out of it, as well as save money on it. And after a while, equally as your life will feel normalized as you improve it, it will feel normal as you downgrade it. And at first, obviously, it's like, oh, this kind of sucks. A few months later, a few weeks later, you don't even notice it. It's just like, this is life. And, some people might say that's a very scarcity mindset, or it's not the greatest way to look at things. I don't think I'm depriving myself. I think I'm delaying gratification to improve my life in the future. And I think the fulfillment that one gets knowing that you're really looking out for your future self, I think is extremely gratifying in and of itself. A lot of people have way more than they need, or than they could ever even dream of using. I think it's really important to just become extremely conscious of the things that you're buying, the places you shop, all the ways you spend money, all the ways you find to spend money, and cutting out a few things, trying it for a month, and seeing how that plays out. Investing the extra time and money that you have afterwards is how you'll be able to really build that wealth. And look, this isn't like preaching to people who prefer spending more money on, a sports league or whatever. This is just evaluating the value that you get out of whatever you do, and being fully certain that that is bringing you the value that you're putting into it with your time to get that money, and then spending it. Is that actually a fair trade of value for you in terms of happiness, in terms of financial value, everything? I don't think a lot of people consider these things. They just say, I can't afford it, let's do it, I'll worry about it when I have to. Investing your time and money into things that are going to help you in the long run should be a priority for everyone. I think one of the biggest issues with this whole process is people look at it like it's a big task and it's just going to suck. I look at it like a fun, cool way for me to improve my life. The same way that someone should look at personal development or like working out or anything that improves your life in any way. I feel like people neglect that when it comes to finances, because most people grew up not talking about finances in their families. And I think that is a very, very regular thing for middle class families, of which I can, attest to. Even though my parents did fairly well investing and otherwise, it was just never a topic of discussion that we would talk about finance. And I feel like that's the average person out there. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but the sixth step that I didn't mention yet was evaluating your progress on all of these things and then repeating the process, and just keep rinsing and recycling, and you'll get to a point where you'll see just dramatic changes. Ever since I really became conscious of my finances and everything, and I thought, looking at other people's investments and their accounts and everything, and I thought, there's no way I could ever get there. And then once you really start being conscious about it, you find ways to save money. You find ways to make more money because you realize how powerful that money could be. And ever since I've done this, I've been amazed looking at my investments now and seeing them go from, $100, $500 to $10,000, and bringing my crypto portfolio from like $5,000 to like $12,000, and that's US, and I'm in Canada too, so it's more than that. But I think you can't really understand it fully until you just dive in and start doing it. So for the people who are like very overwhelmed with the amount of things that you might have to do, I think just starting is the most important thing. And the best way to start is to just start budgeting and tracking. But even more than that, even if you don't want to like really get into solid things that you actually have to do, just ideating and thinking about what are some things that you're spending money on that you could cut back on. What are some luxuries that you could sacrifice? I was just talking to someone the other day and they said, I don't see how you're able to do what you do. I just couldn't find the time. And I said, it's all about the sacrifice. If this takes me 3 hours a day, it's ridiculous that someone says that they couldn't find 3 hours a day. You obviously have 3 hours a day, or most people really do have 3 hours extra every day. But if you prefer to watch TV or whatever it happens to be, then that's your choice. You just aren't willing to sacrifice, and that's fine. But saying that it's not possible isn't true. That's an excuse for yourself. And I want people to beat their excuses so that they can achieve the things that they truly want. Because, come January, when you have to make your New Year's resolutions and you look back at what you did over the year and you see that none of the resolutions you wrote down last year were achieved because you weren't consciously working towards it. You were just writing something down and hoping that happens. It's not possible. You've got to sacrifice to achieve those things. And I don't look at the sacrifice like I'm losing something. Again, it's delayed gratification to improve my life for the long term, right? Small sacrifices in the short term to improve my overall life for the rest of my life. I think that's an easy trade. And once more people can internalize that, I think this will be easier and easier for people to do. Again, I'm not coming from the point of, I'm some authority or I know better than you, because everyone's got different situations and different opportunities and different challenges and struggles. But I do think it is important to generally have these concepts in mind and just be more conscious of your financials, your personal finance, and working towards being financially free. Anyways, this has been sort of my take on trying to be financially free and my journey so far of financial minimalism and how I approach that. I'd love to hear from you guys. What are you doing to save money? How do you approach financial freedom and financial minimalism? And what do you think about all of this? I'd love to hear your thoughts. I wanted to change it up a little bit and get into this today and share a little bit about my backstory and kind of why I've been doing all these things that I've been doing. I've been super, super passionate about doing this, not only to be financially free, but specifically crypto financially free, empowered by crypto to do this, and specifically doing it with social media and earning and monetizing off of your content to be able to afford the lifestyle that you love. I think the future vision I have in mind where you could live stream walking to the store, talking to your audience, and then earn enough crypto to buy whatever you want to buy at the store. I think that is a extremely empowering vision of the future where it's almost like money doesn't matter anymore because everyone can just monetize their life to the point where they can afford what they need to afford. Obviously, that's a very utopian vision of the future, but crypto is helping make that more possible. So let me know what you guys think about this. Again, share all the things that you're doing. I'd love to gain some insight and maybe try some of the stuff that you guys are doing as well to save money and to find, just creative solutions and ways to make crypto or earn crypto or even save or grow your crypto for passive income. I'd love to hear all that in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching. Thanks so much for watching up to this point. Since you did, it would be awesome if you could give this video a like and if you could comment down below #1ham. That way I know that you watched the full video. Also, it would be great if you guys could follow me, subscribe to my channel. You can follow me and find me everywhere under @ScottCBusiness. And also, sharing this video makes a huge impact. If you'd like to support me more directly, you can donate to scottcbusiness.crypto or scottcbusiness.eth. And that covers a lot of my main addresses for Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ripple. As always, I'm Scott Cunningham, aka Scottsy Business, signing off. Cheers.